The NBA is full of world-class basketball talent, and many people disagree over who the top few are. So today I will voice my opinion on who I think are the 10 best basketball players in the NBA. If you would like to see me do one of these on who I think are the 10 greatest players of all time, leave a like and a comment so I know to do one. This list is based off of basic stats, advanced analytics, international play, and my own personal opinion. Some stats that were huge factors in placing these players are not mentioned in the video. So don't worry if you don't understand. If you disagree with me, be civil about it and leave a constructive comment. Don't try and witch hunt me. Other than that, let's get into the video. Starting off the list at number 10, I have Carmelo Anthony. Now, if I made this list about 2 weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have put Melo here. It's that close. But his play in the Olympics shows that he is still a top talent. While in the NBA playing for the Knicks, he is a ball-dominant star and a me-first player, although he hasn't had much else to work with on his other Knicks rosters prior to this upcoming season. Just this past season, Melo put up 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists per game, career high for him in assists. Now, even though Melo is getting older, he still puts up monster numbers and is still a perennial all-star. He had a PER rating of 20.3 this past season, which is over 5 points above the league average. Now, in the beginning I mentioned this was also going off of international play, and with the Olympics recently passing, it really did help Melo's case, and it's probably what bumped him up to the number 10 spot. In the Olympics, he's a completely different player. He's extremely effective playing off the ball, averaging 13.6 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.8 assists. Shows great versatility as a player and can really step up in big games. Coming in at the number 9 spot, I have Klay Thompson. Known mostly as Curry's sidekick. Oh wow, that actually would have been a good place to put Draymond. Can we get a switch? No, we can't get Draymond in here? Alright, well, Klay is actually a phenomenal player himself. He's one of the league's best shooters and one of the best perimeter defenders, and is an underrated post defender. This past season, he averaged about 22.1 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and 2 assists per game, while shooting 47% from the field and 42.5% from 3. Those stats don't tell it all though. When we get into the advanced stats, that's where Klay really shines. He has a true shooting percentage of 60%. Yeah, 60. And when you take into consideration that 47% of his shots are from the 3-point line, you really start to get impressed. With a PER of 18.6 in the regular season and 19.5 in the playoffs, Klay is an effective player on both sides of the court, which is why he's at our number 9 spot. Coming in at our number 8 spot, I have Paul George. After one of the most brutal injuries we've seen to date in international play not that long ago, George has come back with low expectations but a high outcome so far. This past season averaging 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals per game, with a PER of 20.9. To go along with a true shooting percentage of 56%, George is athletic, a great defender, a good shooter, has decent playmaking abilities, and is just a monster. Not much else to say about George. He's Mr. Do-It-All pretty much. And that's why he came in at number 8. From one Paul to the next, moving into the number 7 spot, we have Chris Paul. This past season, Paul averaged 19.5 points per game, 10.0 assists per game, go along with 4.2 rebounds and 2.1 steals per game. Chris Paul is the ideal point guard. A great pass-first ball handler with great playmaking and court vision. And he has a nice jumper, not to mention he's one of the best at on-ball defense and helping to clog the passing lanes on the perimeter. All that is great, but did you know that Chris Paul was 5th last season in PER with a phenomenal 26.2? Chris Paul is a mastermind when it comes to the point guard position. Coming in at the number 6 spot, we have the youngest player on this list, Anthony Davis. Now this is definitely a stretch, especially with all the injuries. Last season, Davis averaged 24.3 points per game, 10.3 rebounds, 1.9 assists, 1.3 steals, and 2 blocks per game, all shooting 49% from the field. He has a PER of 25, a true shooting percentage of 56%, and is an underrated mid-range shooter, shooting about 42% from 10 to 16 feet this past NBA season, which, I mean, he doesn't really get credited with being that good. You may be questioning me now, but if he plays at least 70 games next season, I could see him having a huge jump and being in MVP contention, like he was supposed to have this past year prior to the injuries. Coming in at the number 5 spot is the bandwagon himself, Kevin Durant. Now, even though we all hate him for his decision, we can't forget that he is a darn good player. This past NBA season, he was top 20 in over 20 categories. He had averages of 28.2 points, 8.2 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1.2 blocks per game. While his height is heavily debated, he is 6'8" to up to 7 feet, 240 pounds, a pure scoring machine. With a wingspan of around 7'5", he is long, lanky, skinny, athletic, and uses all of these things to help him in his game. He had a PER of 28.2, over 13 points above league average, and a true shooting percentage of 63%. He not only lights up the stat sheet, but he's a gem for those who love advanced analytics. KD can drive, shoot, pass, dribble, run up and down the court, defend centers, forwards, and guards. What else do you really need in a player? Getting ready for all the bandwagon Warriors fans to hate me on this one, Kevin. At the number 4 hole, we got Wardell Stephen Curry II. I can already hear the Hypebeast fans slamming the keys on their keyboards, but hear me out. Steph is a world-class talent, and that's why he's in the top 5. But there are better, well-rounded players out there. Plus, his lack of an international career hurts him on this list. This past season, Steph averaged 30 points per game, 6.7 assists per game, and 5.4 rebounds per game, and led the league in steals with 2.1 steals per game. He also led the league in PER with a PER of 31.5, over double the league average. He also led in true shooting percentage with just shy of 70%, which is ridiculous. Now, those stats do make me look like a hypocrite by putting him at only number 4, but his lack of athleticism, on-ball defense inside the three-point line, post defense, among a few other things, have him down in this list. Coming in at the number 3 spot, I have Kawhi Leonard. This past season, Super Kawhi Leonard averaged 21.2 points per game, 6.8 rebounds per game, and 2.6 assists per game, accompanied with 1.8 steals and 1 block per game. Now, those don't even tell half the story. We all know Kawhi is the best defensive player in the league, but how well do we really think he is compared to how well he is really? Well, this past season, he was second in defensive win shares with 5.5, behind Paul Millsap, who had 6. But something to note is that Kawhi had more offensive win shares than defensive. So what, is he better on offense than we thought he was? Better than he is on defensive? Well, yes and no. Currently, he is a better defensive player, but he's very underrated offensively. He's one of the best when it comes to playing off the ball and being there when you need him to during a play. This past season, Kawhi shot around 51% from the field and 44% from 3, where he was third 3-point field goal percentage. So he's one of the most efficient in the game when it comes to shooting and being on offense. You pile that on top of his defense, where he's probably the best perimeter defender, if not top 3, but he's also a very underrated post defender, in my opinion, as long as many others. So you combine all of that, and yeah, I'd say he's pretty much a top 3 NBA player.
Kawhi is hobbling. That left knee is what I'm concerned about there. Leonard makes it 49-43. And Kawhi with 18 on the free throw. And the Spurs are...
Coming in at the number 2 spot, I have Russell Westbrook. Do I really need to explain this one? Okay, if you wish. Russell Westbrook, no doubtedly the most athletic player currently in the NBA. He's a scoring, passing, and rebounding machine. He led the league with 18 triple-doubles this past season, and many people are predicting with Kevin Durant gone this upcoming season, Westbrook will be the first player since Oscar Robertson in 1962 to average a triple-double for a season. This past season, Westbrook averaged 23.5 points, 10.4 assists, and 7.8 rebounds per game to go along with 2 steals. He also had a PER rating of 27.6, which is freaking insane. Westbrook was second in steals, assists, assist percentage, box plus minus, and offensive box plus minus. He's one of the most versatile players in the league. As stated before, he is an athletic freak, not to mention his improving defense and jump shot. He's just a monster. What more is there to say about Westbrook? Finally, number 1. My opinion on the best basketball player currently in the National Basketball Association. I have LeBron James. Now, these past few regular seasons haven't quite been LeBron's best work. That's only because it doesn't have to be. He absolutely shows up in the playoffs, which is where he really shines. This past regular season, LeBron averaged 25.3 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, 6.8 assists per game, and 1.4 steals per game. He also had a PER of 27.5 and a true shooting percentage of 59%. LeBron is 6 feet 8 inches and 250 pounds of pure basketball dominance. He is the jack of all trades. He's one of the best scorers, passers, defenders, athletes, and players this league has ever seen. He can do anything: score, pass, rebound, defend, have an awesome celebration off the bench. This past postseason, LeBron had a PER of flat 30, twice the league average, while averaging 26.3 points, 1.3 blocks, 2.3 steals, 7.6 assists, and 9.5 rebounds. And that's through the entire playoffs, not just the finals, not just the first round, the entire playoffs. King James, LBJ, Chosen One, Bron, whatever you wish to call him. I'm going to let him end out this video.
Nah, I feel confident because I'm the best player in the world. That's simple.